Do you remember that song? You know, when I think of that song, I think of a movie. Pardon me. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was the name of that film. It was Mel Gibson in the starring role, and it was one of my favorite Mad Max films. I didn't think much of the song. I just didn't think about it. I thought about the video. You see action sequences, but I didn't think about the song. But who needs a heart if a heart can be broken? Tina Turner. And my heart's broken. So shout out to the person that broke it. And let's have a great episode. I'm the Six-Wheel Cowboy, and you are about to watch Please Remain Seated, episode 2. It's been a pretty good weekend. I have caught up on a few work things and also watched my share of sports, so I'm pretty happy about that. I have got, football fever because football hasn't started yet, so I'm dealing with that. I am trying to watch more baseball. I watched some more fights over the weekend. They were good. We'll talk about those shortly. Fun fact, normally I like to bring a lot of optimism into the episodes, but I did find it interesting that rap artist Bad Baby, who is most famous for saying "Catch Me Outside" on the Dr. Phil show, has 7 million subscribers on YouTube. Roughly 2 million more than Joe Rogan. And all I can say is wow. By the way, I did look at her music and it is not good, folks. It's not good at all. But, hey, I guess there's a market for it, apparently. So Catch Me Outside. Her rapper name is Bad Baby. And of course, Bad and Baby are misspelled. But I'm not surprised by that. Anyway, in other news, I got to thinking over the weekend we got crazy things happening in the fight game. For example, Justin Bieber has recently challenged Tom Cruise to a full mixed martial arts contest. We're talking about unarmed combat in the cage. UFC President Dana White has acknowledged that he would get involved if the parties did want to do this fight. I think that's another example of how desperate the UFC has become for cash as they try to new owners WME try to make money from the $4 billion purchase. I thought it was funny that Floyd Money Mayweather, the boxing legend, has come forward and said he will promote a fight between Cruz and Bieber. I think that's also pretty funny. I have read that Tom Cruise was a wrestling state qualifier in high school. I'm not sure what Bieber's prowess is. I think his mixed martial arts training consists of watching Wiz Khalifa on the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know that for a fact, but I think that's what he's basing his fight readiness on. So, good luck to Mr. Bieber. I'm going with the Cruise man, especially that new Top Gun coming out. Wow, it's going to be really good. There's some really good movies out now. For example, Spider-Man Far From Home. This morning I texted with my niece trying to get her to go to the movies with me to watch it again because she's a big Marvel fan. Her name is Tatum. Tatum loves Marvel, and I love to watch Marvel with her, so I was texting with her, and she just texted me back before we started doing this episode to say that sounds like fun. So perhaps there's a movie night coming up for the family, hopefully so. I want to see the movie again, for sure. But the movie, and if you haven't seen it, please skip this part because I want to talk about the film a little bit. The movie is really good. I think it solidifies Tom Holland as a clear Spider-Man for the future, as if there was any doubt. I mean, this guy, to me, he just absolutely personifies what I want from Spider-Man. I love the way they set up his backstory, set up his high school. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May is okay. That's not my favorite casting, but she's not bad. But Holland in the hero role is amazing. This film, they fly off to Western Europe and they go on a class trip. This class trip is exciting. They go on an adventure. He's trying not to don the Spider-Man suit. He wants to just be a kid on the trip. And they're also dealing with the aftermath of the snap. If you don't know what the snap is, please stop watching this video and for God's sake, get a hold of some Marvel movies and watch the 22-film story arc that led to the snap from the Titan Thanos. All right? Anyway, great film. We deal with the aftermath of Tony Stark's death. We deal with, again, the aftermath of the snap. We deal with the usual Peter Parker as he gets closer to MJ and things start to happen there. Just tremendous classic Spider-Man storytelling. But you know what was most exciting? Was getting to see the great Spider-Man venture out away from New York and really see what was happening around the world. And also battle one of my favorite villains, Mysterio, who I never thought we'd see on the screen. This guy's got like a fishbowl head. He's very, I would think, very hard to put in film, but they do a great, great job. So run out and see that. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming, see that first. It's also a great film. And again, this is a continuation into the Marvel series. They're calling this Phase 4. Now, this last week was San Diego Comic-Con. So we had a lot of news about films coming out. We had some news about Marvel's plans, some DC stuff, some TV shows, and I'm pretty excited about a few things. Number one, Disney Plus is about to come out. Disney Plus will be a new streaming service from Disney, and I'm looking forward to subscribing to that. They're going to have a lot of Marvel content, including a new TV series featuring Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Marvel fans, you love Tom in this role. We all do. And are excited to see him reprise it in this TV series. I've also heard that they're bringing back a lot of the Netflix shows like Daredevil, things of that nature. So I look for exciting things from Disney Plus. I love going to movies. I love watching them at home. I love going to movies. I am not happy, folks, with the wheelchair accessibility in movie theaters. Where do I begin? It's 2019, and my choices are still on the floor in the first couple of rows, or if I'm lucky, a chance to sit in an elevated balcony area at the very top of the theater. The time has come to stop this. I'm tired of sitting there. I'm tired of paying premium tickets to sit right in front of the screen. This has to stop. Shout out to Harkins Movie Theater, as they have the only theater that I'm aware of in which a person in a wheelchair can sit in roughly in the middle of the theater. They have a multi-level ramp that, thank God, allows me to sit kind of in the middle of the screen room, which is all I ever wanted. So I really want to see this change, and I don't see the change coming. I've been to all the new theaters. I've been in Showbiz in Edmond, Oklahoma. By the way, I'm in Oklahoma if you don't know that. I've been to the Dolby Cinema at AMC. I've been to the Harkins that I said, as well as several Cinemark properties. The Warren. The Warren's pretty good, but still, very limited on one or two options per screening room. That's got to change. That's got to change. They have a new 4DX at the Moore Warren. By the way, Bill Warren does not own that theater anymore. That is a Regal Cinema. It's not truly a Warren anymore. They have a 4DX cinema there where the chairs shake you and move you about. Again, that's not very. It's not really an option for me or people with my type of disability. Their director suites are really good, though. They have director suites. But in the director suite, there is one wheelchair option. So if there was two wheelchair users, somebody's not getting that movie. So that's, we have a long ways to go on that. Long ways to go. I really want to see inclusion without inconveniencing everyone. I feel the same way, people, about sporting events. How does the NBA get away with having no courtside wheelchair seating? Adam Silver, you want to take away the word owner because it's offensive? Well, give people in wheelchairs somewhere to sit, buddy. They do it, but not in the higher price ranges. I'm sure there's many reasons for that. But people in wheelchairs should have the choice of seating based on what they want to pay. Same goes for other sports. The time has come for that to change. I'm certainly tired of it. I think there's a lot of things in the disability world that are going on that need to change. And some of them have nothing to do with us. Let me give an example. Plastic straws. We need those people. I need those. People in wheelchairs often use those. But we're getting rid of them because a turtle ran into one or something. I mean, who knows? But we need plastic straws are an accommodation. They are. And all of these things are born out of people that don't have disabilities weighing in on and putting too much importance on their own opinion about things we need. Plastic straws going away hurts people with physical disabilities. Plain and simple. Starbucks' new strawless lid they're designing has 40% more plastic than just leaving a straw in there. This is kind of the stupid things we're doing. Stupid things. We're going to make a lid with more plastic. Doesn't make any sense, people. Doesn't make any sense. It's been a pretty interesting week in politics. I'm sure you watched the news and saw that President Trump had some tweets that were deemed racist, and who knows if they're racist or not. I think that's in the eyes of the interpreter who's reading the text. But let's take a look at what happened, because I think this is a real moment at which we can see the game of politics take the forefront. If I can go back a few weeks, Nancy Pelosi, Democrat side, made the statement to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a.k.a. AOC, and her three colleagues. They call themselves the Squad, by the way. These are four young minority women, new congresswomen, and they've labeled themselves the Squad. And they're very active on Twitter. Well, Nancy Pelosi has decided that they need to calm down, get off of Twitter, and things of that nature. She came out publicly and said that. I thought, how interesting. The Democrats are infighting. We'll have to see how this goes in terms of the sport of politics. AOC fires back. She says, we know more about this than you. We get so much more exposure than TV ads. Twitter's the way to go. Very interesting. Trump comes out and says something like, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting, you should go to the countries you're from and fix their economies and situations, and then come back and tell me how you did it. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's so racist. Oh my gosh, can't believe this. And then out of nowhere, that's all we're talking about. What's my initial reaction? What the heck are you doing, Mr. President? Why are you getting involved in this party infighting? I thought, how stupid. But after careful thought, I realized there's nothing stupid about it. It was actually a genius move. And I'll explain. When Pelosi made the statements against AOC, she was collectively moving the party to the right to let the American people know, hey, the Democrats can be trusted. We're not going to be the far left AOC, the squad people that you think we are. Go ahead and let us win, and we're going to move to the right. So, middle America, you can trust the Democrats again. Good move, Nancy, you think? And Trump said, oh no. So he does the tweets that were deemed racist because he wants to put the squad back at the forefront. And sure enough, it worked. That's all we were talking about. Presidential candidates like Bernie Sanders, Beto, God, I can't stand that guy, Cory Booker and others were tweeting, I stand with the squad, down with racism. And so now you've got these four women who Pelosi tried to marginalize for the benefit of the party back at the front of the news cycle. Sure, Trump takes a hit, but he is winning in the long run because he's got the American people seeing that these four left-wing extremists, hardcore socialists, are at the forefront of the party. And Trump thinks that will help him. It probably will. I think it's a genius move in the game of politics. Really blew me away. Switching gears, I want to talk. I didn't get to really finish talking about the last UFC 239. I wanted to say a few more things about that. Simply about Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, longtime athlete of Jackson Wink in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he recently left the team just prior to his fight with Michael Chiesa. Diego had me excited about that fight. Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, because he said, I'm back, I have beat Mickey Gall, I'm ready to make a statement against Michael Chiesa, even though I'm getting up there in years. Well, guess what? Diego goes out there and gets his butt kicked. I mean, Michael Chiesa wore him out. I couldn't believe it. By the way, for those of you wrestling aficionados, Diego got so desperate on the ground that he went for the old oil change maneuver on Chiesa to get up. So if you don't know what the oil change is in wrestling, you can Google it after this episode. And I probably won't bring it up on further episodes of Please Remain Seated, but there you go. Diego tried the oil change, and even that didn't work. So I look into Diego's management, who his trainer is now. And apparently it's this freaking movement coach who knows nothing about fighting. So like in the corner between rounds, he's telling Diego Sanchez to beat Tyson. Be like Tyson out there. I mean, what the heck does that mean? Be like Tyson. Oh my gosh. It was awful. I still thought Diego had a chance because of his insurmountable will, but it was not to be. It was just not to be. So last night we had a UFC fight night in San Antonio, Texas. A couple of takeaways from that. Once again, the UFC had Greg Hardy in the co-main event. Greg Hardy is the scumbag that used to pay for several NFL teams, most notably the Carolina Panthers, as well as briefly for my own Dallas Cowboys. And he abused several women, was very violent, eventually got kicked out of football. He's in the UFC now, and he's awful. He's an embarrassment. He's got a crazy power and athleticism. He knocked another guy out last night, and then he did this dance as though he just won the UFC heavyweight belt. So I think Greg Hardy and the way the UFC is advancing him is simply showing how desperate they are to make money, how desperate they are to get a star. And I would like to see him marginalized because he's not who we want promoting. He's not who we want being promoted as a mixed martial artist. So, what else going on? Yeah, so Jorge Masvidal, Street Jesus they call him, the one that knocked Ben Askren out in 5 seconds, he is back in the news, announcing that he wants to fight the notorious Conor McGregor. Of course, Dana White said absolutely not. And everybody thought, well, Conor's being a wussy, you know. That's a horrible fight for Conor. Jorge's a big 170. Conor's an average 155. Horrible fight for Conor to go up for. And I hope they don't make it because Conor needs to focus on doing what he can do in the 155 division. And I hope this fight does not see fruition. I would much rather see Jorge take on champion Kamaru Usman than I would to see Jorge and Conor. That's my thoughts on that. You know, I was on Facebook earlier and I saw these. So-and-so, Bob, is adding to his story. I mean, what the hell does that even mean? Adding to his story. Instagram, Facebook. Guess what? A story has freaking words in it. A story goes in a book. A story is not a bunch of selfies lodged together. I wish they'd get rid of that damn term, story, in social media. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, really is. What else is going on? So I went to get some Listerine earlier and at Walmart, and I thought, I can't believe that I'm in Walmart, and I have to think, did somebody spit in this damn Listerine? I mean, we literally have to think about that because millennials are going around spitting in Listerine and hand soap and jars of salsa, and everybody thinks it's hilarious. Just another moment at which I find myself wondering what the heck is going on in the world. What the heck is going on in the world? You know, I made a big deal last week about, 007 is going to be a female now. James Bond will not be at the helm. And then today I found out that Natalie Portman was going to play Thor in the next Thor film. Now, here's why I don't have as big a problem with the Thor thing. Because it's got comic roots. Thor, the goddess of thunder, actually happened. So I have a little bit better time with that than I do the James Bond thing, which I think is absolute pandering and just craziness. But we'll see how Portman does in the role. And I was surprised by the news, but yet excited to see what they do and if they stick to the story. We'll see. I also saw that Blade is getting a reboot, made famous by Wesley Snipes in the early parts of the century. It's now being redone with Mahershala Ali in the role of Blade, and I'm super pumped about it because if you have not seen this guy act, please get out there and watch The Green Book, watch The Wire Season 3, not The Wire, True Detective Season 3. This guy's phenomenal, and I look forward to him doing terrific in the Blade series. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So I go to some local music concerts when I can, smaller venues, especially over at the Tower Theater. I just want to give a shout out to the people at Tower. They are really good. My friends Ashley and Lucas always helping me out there, getting me into the different shows, and having great accessible seating. A couple weekends ago, I saw the Reed South Hall Band. there at the Tower Theater. This is a rock band, a little bit country, I guess. They're out of Altus, Oklahoma, and boy, these guys were phenomenal. They blew me away. So check out the Reed Southall Band. I think they were great. Think of if Leonard Skinner had a baby with Poison. I think it might be the Reed Southall Band. They were excellent. They were excellent. And the Tower Theater, folks, if you haven't been out there, phenomenal. It's a retro theater. They show movies in there. They have small concerts. They brought that whole area back to life. I'm so excited about the whole Uptown area, which is near my office, and I like to frequent those businesses over there because they've got so many things going on. They really do. I'm very excited about Tower. I've seen several shows out there. You know, some of you that follow me on social media may have seen that I saw my favorite comedian, Theo Vaughn, at the Tower Theater in late June and had a fantastic time. This guy had me in stitches laughing so hard. So we got to thank the Tower Theater for bringing in these great acts because it's really revitalizing the whole Uptown area. So get out there and do what you can to support that. You know, I was talking to my dad yesterday. He told me that he thinks the first preseason football game is on August 1st. I hope that's true. I really do because I'm ready for it. You know, preseason football is kind of like eating a bite of food that's really good and then the next bite's terrible. Because it takes about 10 minutes for me to remember how much preseason football sucks. But I need it anyway. I need it bad. I'm hoping that my Cowboys will do well this year. Jason Garrett still at the helm. I've heard that Ezekiel Elliott may be planning a secret holdout in training camp. I sure hope not, because we need the running game solidified. So I'm hoping that he's around. I wanted to tell you a few things about growing up. I want to kind of incorporate some of my favorite stories growing up. I said in the last podcast that I'm from a small town, Dover, Oklahoma. We have a population of about, who knows, 300 people maybe? I don't even know. You can Google it and check it out, but it depends on whether or not we're counting the dogs. And I don't know if they're allowing that in census or not. So anyway, fun times going up out there, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I remember going to Scholastic meets, and my best friend Ike, his name's Kyle, we'd go out there to these Scholastic meets, and being forward thinkers that we were as fifth graders, we thought that the snacks and concessions and other sustenance at this Scholastic meet were far overpriced, and we decided to venture out into the town. We were visiting, which I believe was Cashin, Oklahoma, to find cheaper fare, cheaper food to eat. And we did, and we got caught, we got in a lot of trouble, and we made a pact to boycott Scholastic meets for the rest of our academic lives, and we pretty much did. And so that's just one time that I can give you in which, you know, I didn't let my wheelchair keep me from whatever mischief was tugging at my heartstrings. Because if it's one thing young boys know is mischief. So the Scholastic meet endeavor was something I remember vividly, and I look back fondly at that. We did get a good deal. I think we had, we had grilled meats, maybe hot dogs. We had a variety of chips. We had much more than the paltry selection that was being offered at this Scholastic meet. And I do believe we came back with medals also. But so there went our chance to attend many, many more. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this podcast. I do want to get it in audio version. Yeah, as most of you know, I do also co-host a podcast with Handicap Media, which we haven't picked up in a while, but we're going to soon. And we're also going to get that on iTunes as well. So be sure to share this link with your friends. I want to get the word out there that this is going on, that we have a show that's talking about sports and current events and all these things, and getting people excited about podcasting, about disability issues, and about what's going on in 2019. What else is going on? So I saw a good article this morning that said Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, who's running for president as a Democrat, is under fire because his staff feel as though they're not being paid a living wage. Now, why is this hysterical? Because the key tenet of his platform is to make sure that people make at least $15 an hour. And as it turns out, he's paying people about $11 an hour that work for him. So they are furious. And they are doing articles and contributing and making their voices heard. They don't like this wage. And his campaign manager, I can't remember his name, Fazir, some type of Middle Eastern name guy, said, we are paying comparable to other campaigns, which I think is hilarious because guess what? When you're not paying a living wage, you can always say, hey, don't feel bad, nobody's getting a living wage. Yeah, that's a great answer, dude. That's a great answer. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this. I don't even know if Bernie is aware of this. I don't know if he has been briefed, but kind of funny that the living wage guy, the $15 an hour minimum wage guy, is in the hot seat for not paying his staff enough. I think that's pretty funny. I really do. Not quite as funny as the fact that Beto O'Rourke has no issues at all. I mean, this guy, I need to leave him alone. I think his campaign is tanking, but it's still funny that the guy has no issues at all. He has really no platform, which is so funny. If you look back on Beto, when you have a guy that's running for Congress in Texas and his main supporters are Hollywood elites for a Texas congressional seat, that is what we call a red flag. That's what we call a red flag. And guess what? When he lost to Ted Cruz, they were done with him. You don't see LeBron James walking around with his Beto hat on anymore. They're done with him. He's scrambling. He's trying to run for president now. It's almost sad to watch. It's almost sad to watch. This guy is so done. I thought it was also interesting that both he and Cory Booker were campaigning in Mexico recently. Now get this right, folks. They were two Democratic presidential candidates were campaigning for president in the country of Mexico. Wow. Talk about unprecedented. So we have all this problems here in our country. Social Security's tanking. We have a homeless problem like we've never had before. And we are in another country campaigning for president. Don't understand where the party's going. I just don't. Maybe that will change, maybe it won't. Who knows? But very, very, very strange. I don't see a clear-cut front runner on the Democratic side. And I also read that the RNC is amassing donations at a much higher rate. This is shaping up like a landslide for Trump unless there's a scandal of some kind to save it for the Democrats. I just don't know. Speaking of Democratic strategy, has anybody read up on this whole deal where the Democrats want to get rid of the Electoral College? This is hilarious. Hilarious. Okay? Barack Obama, who I have respect for, who I supported twice, won because of the Electoral College. Twice. He won because he deported. And they actually called him deporter-in-chief because of 3 million people that he deported. He did a lot of bombing and things. He did a lot of things that Trump is doing now, which I think is funny because Trump is being vilified and Obama was being praised. So anyway, back to my main point. Bernie Sanders come forward. We must get rid of the Electoral College. Worst idea ever. Why do they want to do that? Because Trump won in 16. Trump won in 16, so they want to do away with it. So basically, you don't like the rules, you're not winning, so let's just get rid of the rules. Horrible idea. I don't care what side you're on. We get rid of the Electoral College, and Los Angeles and New York will decide our president every freaking year. Do you want that? I don't want that. I don't want that. So, anyway, I had to get my handicap parking permit redone recently. I'm waiting to get it in the mail because it expired. The irony of that is still funny. I don't know if I told this story before, but when my handicap permit expired, I don't have to use it a lot because I have the license plate on my van. So I went to get my license plate renewed, and I found out that my tag had expired. So I thought that's pretty funny. That my handicap plate is expired, but my cerebral palsy is still nice and fresh, people. Nice and fresh. So, waiting on my new permit. Now, some of you that have had handicap permits for a long time may remember that we used to have them forever. They would be things that we could keep forever and not have to get them renewed. The problem became the fact that we were passing them down. Somebody would die, and Grandma would die, and little Daniel, grandson Daniel, would become a driver, and he would keep old Granny's parking permit. So that happened a lot. So that's kind of why 5 years is the maximum time that you can keep one now. So I'm getting mine renewed currently, and hopefully that will be a relatively quick process, relatively easy process. What else is going on? You know, I have a new film I'm about to watch. My mom, if she's listening, will be excited. And I got a disc for myself and her, which is the new Stephen King Pet Cemetery. I've heard it's got mixed reviews. I'm looking forward to watching it, which is hilarious because I am a big Stephen King fan, but I don't watch a lot of horror films because when you have cerebral palsy, you startle easy. I mean, you startle super easy. Like I may be startled here in a second. I mean, it's just that easy because most people with cerebral palsy still have what's known as the Moro reflex. And I want to talk about that briefly. Sorry about the seriousness of this podcast. I like to laugh, but some of this knowledge I really want to give you. The Moro reflex is one in which when you throw a baby into the air, it kind of locks up, freezes up, and you catch it. Well, when it's tensed up like that in the air, that's the Moro reflex. And people with cerebral palsy never outgrow that. So we startle very easily. And let me tell you, it's the most frustrating part of having CP, bar none. I mean, it really, truly, truly is. And it's so frustrating. But again, like I told my buddy at work, who told me he didn't watch films because he gets embarrassed because of that. I said, boy, you really got to get out there and enjoy some films. I mean, I don't care. I'll throw a large popcorn all over your cousin Judy if I have to. I'm watching my movies, folks. I'll throw an ice cold Mr. Pibb all over a 4-year-old if I have to. I'm watching my films. That's just how it is. They can deal with it or they cannot deal with it. But I'm watching my films. What else is going on? So I went to a nice restaurant. I say nice, a cheap restaurant Friday. This Jimmy's Roundup Cafe. It's out on the south side, hole in the wall place. Had some all-you-can-eat catfish. It was super good. So glad I found it. Probably the cheapest and best catfish I've had in a while. I'm hoping to get out maybe to the ballpark soon to watch the OKC Dodgers play. Yesterday I watched some 4K baseball. I watched the New York Mets take on let's see, who did the Mets play? They played the San Francisco Giants. The Mets won 11-4. I'm not a fan of either team. I was simply watching because it was being presented in glorious 4K on Fox Sports 1 4K. And let me tell you, I'll watch anything in 4K. No joke. I'll watch my own funeral if it's in 4K. That's how good 4K is. Wow. I mean, it's really good. And you know, one of the best things about it is there's no commercials. When it's commercial time, they just show people in the crowd, like, getting their hot dogs and stuff like that. There's no commercials or anything of that nature. So I really enjoy 4K for the resolution and for the lack of advertising. You know, I recently switched to a streaming-only solution after 20 plus years of satellite TV. I'm now streaming only with a provider named Fubo, and I am doing a little cable that comes with my internet. I'll take that back. I have a little cable in my spare room. It came with my internet, so that the staff that are helping me can enjoy some television without having to navigate the difficult streaming solutions that I have. But streaming is a pretty good deal. There's a lot more 4K content. I hope that we don't lose physical media, though. Physical media is the best. It's the way to go as far as the optimum resolution. I really believe that. When you watch a 4K Blu-ray, for example, you're getting a lot better quality than you would if you were watching a streaming 4K, if that makes sense. Just to paraphrase what's going on, is the 4K disc, which is about 50 gigabytes, has a lot more room to display data that the streaming service is going to have to simulate. So you're not going to see as much quality in the streaming side of 4K. So I just realized that my air was on, and hopefully it didn't ruin my audio quality. But I am enjoying the streaming. I think being able to see sports in 4K is special. I know my little boy and I, we used to always love to watch whatever game Fox was showing in 4K that weekend. We'd watch like Oregon playing Mid-America Junior College or something just because it was in 4K. I mean, I'll even put up with looking at that annoying soccer lady, whatever her name is, just to watch 4K. So definitely, if you have a 4K TV, get some content for it. If you game, I do a little gaming, and have found 4K to be tremendous in that arena as well. So I don't know how long I'm going to go today. I don't have a tremendous amount of content. I am looking forward, like I said, to watching the new Stephen King Pet Cemetery. I'm sure my mom's excited. I am a big fan of Stephen King's books. They are terrifying. It is probably my favorite. I haven't seen the movies yet, but the book was phenomenal. I look forward to Pet Cemetery as well. Huge fan of Stephen King. I know he's a big anti-Trump guy. He's really way out there to the left. But aside from that, the guy is a tremendous writer. By the way, I don't think it's good to be out there either way. If your friend's right or your friend's left, you're doing the wrong thing, buddy. You know, I grew up a lifelong Democrat. And when my party moved too far left, they left me behind. Because nothing gets done in the fringe. Nothing gets done in the fringe. So as I leave you today, I want you to hit me up on social media. Tell me if you like this stuff. 6-Foot Cowboy, Instagram, 6-Foot Cowboy, Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Jason Price. If you see my Facebook today, you'll see that I posted a shot of an amputee playing soccer, giving a fist bump to a toddler amputee. I love that photo. As you can read on my post, we have to see what we can be. And that's a good example for me. When I was growing up and I met my basketball coach, and we, in high school, and he had cerebral palsy, shout out to Coach Shaw. That was a moment in my life that I'll never forget, because I saw somebody like me succeeding. So when you interact with people with disabilities, understand that we are here to succeed. We are here for our part of the American dream, and we're here to outwork you. We're not here for your pity. We're not here for your stupid guaranteed income or freedom dividend or whatever this crap is where they're going to be handing out money to everyone. We're here to succeed. We're here to succeed, and I want America to be the best it can be. You know, all the Democratic candidates are talking about health care for all. Barack wanted that more than anyone. He couldn't get it done. It was too expensive. Why do they think they can do it now? Let's focus on things that will bring this country to new heights. Let's focus on embracing people with disabilities and what they can do for the country. Let's quit talking about entitlements and about freedom dividends and handing out free tuition and this and that, and get back to showing why America's the best. We're the best because we outwork everybody. We outwork everybody. We come up with things. We win. We fight. And we never, ever give up. Catch me next time. And remember, please remain seated.